Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to the Pay Safe podcast. I'm Crystal Wright, and today I am joined by Joseph Bass. He is the co-owner of the Vegan Cafe in Jacksonville, Florida. It's so great to be here in your restaurant and talk to you. And you also co-own this place with Chef Matt Bardorf, right?
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about, most people, I love vegetables, so getting me to eat vegan is not a problem. I love all foods. But tell me how you and Matt came to the idea of getting into, I guess, the restaurant business, and even more, you're very specific with the vegan cafe, the vegan approach.
Yes. Well, thanks for visiting.
Yeah.
Happy to have you. And the founder's journey is really interesting. It's a family story, really. Matt, he and his family members were vegan before he ever got into food. He worked in hotels and restaurants for over a decade before he started this place. And it was really his experience kind of in between what he did for the hotel and how he prepared food for other people, but also having his own lifestyle and principles that he lived by in private. And he really wanted to find a way to express that for himself and just for the community broadly.
That's cool.
I actually started out, my first experience with this place was as a customer.
Okay.
So I'm very local here. This location is actually in my jogging path.
Okay.
So
nice.
I was just running by one day, or I was looking up. Usually I'll go check to see on the map. I'll just put in the word vegan to see if anything shows up, hopefully. Very optimistic, even though there are sometimes few options.
Yeah.
But the Vegan Cafe Jax showed up on the map one day, and I had to call to make sure it wasn't a fluke. They said, no, we're open. We just opened a couple days ago, and I pretty much came every single day.
Oh, wow.
Tried the whole menu.
Okay.
It was always changing, and eventually just got more and more involved and started to really partner with Matt so that we could grow this place and make it work for everyone.
That's awesome. So you literally stumbled upon the place while jogging, and then you became a true believer. I love the fact you ate your way through the menu.
Yes.
That was your, I'm going to do some business analysis here, right?
Right.
That's awesome. I think you and I were chatting before, and I told you I've had some of the best vegan desserts that really you can't taste the difference. I think about this chocolate cake and the icing. And tell me a little bit about, how you guys approach, your food sourcing and create this great menu. And then you can walk me through some of these yummy things that
Sure.
we have here.
So sourcing is really critical to us. I think a lot of people who eat the way that we do really take it as they want to know exactly what they're eating, how it came to their plate, and every step between themselves and where that food started. And, a lot of food, you mentioned the desserts, they taste great, probably not because they're vegan necessarily, but because the sourcing is really good or the products we use all organic, everything across our menu. A lot of, so the microgreens that are here on top of the salad here, we actually grew those. So we are the growers for that item. It takes a week for them to mature, and then we cut them here.
Oh, wow.
We'll sometimes have the trays out on display.
Nice.
And everything we source from local farmers that we've had in our network for a while. The founder, Matt, has known some of these farmers for years.
Okay.
And
so tell me a little bit about what is this item? It's on the menu?
So this is our Tex-Mex salad.
Okay, yeah.
That is our local greens. They're all organic.
And what's the crumbly?
So this will be our house patty. That's our Tex-Mex patty. It's an oat flour base. It's made with black beans. And it's also a highlight on our house burger.
Ooh, looks good. I'm trying not to eat, on camera here because it would get messy, but maybe after. And what about that yummy dessert?
So this is our blondie. It's a really good take on a healthy dessert. It's actually made, the base is chickpea. So instead of a heavy flour brownie, you're getting something that's functionally more like a protein bar. We also sweeten it with date syrup. We don't use any refined sugar in the building, so everything as far as your health impact is pretty low glycemic across the board.
Now, vegan chocolate chips, what are the chocolate chips made of?
They are, they're dark chocolate chips, and we make substitutions wherever necessary to make sure that, our foods and our desserts, they come out the consistency, the texture that you'd really expect.
So no milk in the chocolate chips, right?
That's right.
How do we make the chocolate chips vegan? What's
So, in fact, dairy is a supplementative ingredient in a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
It serves a function, and there are substitutes all across the board that can replace that.
Well, it looks great. Now, behind us, we have a nice-looking sandwich. I'm going to turn it around just a teeny bit here. Tell me what that is. That looks great.
This is our Reuben. It's a really great showcase for the way that we make food here. Starting with the bread, we actually rise the sourdough here. It takes a few days for us to do that. So before you get your sandwich, it'll be 3 days prior. We've actually already started making the dough. We'll have to rest it for a couple days, and then we bake them off. And then after they're baked off, we have to let them rest another day so that they're ready to cut. Down to the sauerkraut we also make here. It's not just cabbage. We include carrots, green onions, and we ferment that here for about 3 months. So
Awesome.
every Reuben has its process. The base here is the duxelle mushroom. It's actually a classic French approach to cooking down mushrooms. It starts at huge vat, and we boil them down. We press them down, and we get to this nice thin consistency that we put on the sandwich.
So now we're talking about lunch, and you also happen to have chosen PaySafe for your payments partner. Thank you very much. We're always happy to speak to our customers and know that they're enjoying the relationship. But, at lunchtime, moving customers in and out, you guys are open for lunch, is really critical. First question is, tell me why you picked PaySafe, and how has the what's really important for you and a payments partner when you think about moving those customers in and out in a quick amount of time?
Sure. So we picked PaySafe because they coordinate really well with our hardware and the platforms that we use. It's critical for us when we have a line forming that our employees are able to meet all of their tasks, and having a standalone terminal or a kiosk, for example, that can process those payments, has a great display that is easy to manage or edit, or anytime we need to make changes on the menu, is really important to make sure that we have customer satisfaction in the order process. It's really one of the things that makes the biggest difference to us, especially during a busy lunch rush.
Yeah, and have you noticed that people, what are the payment preferences you're noticing from your customers? I mean, what do you accept payment-wise, and what do you accept payment-wise? Are you seeing that change and evolve? Is it like an ongoing basis you guys are evaluating how people are paying?
Sure. So, we always have the eclectic. Some people, they'll pay with $2 bills, right? Some of our farmers that we know well, they're able to pay us with lettuce that we use, right?
Okay, I like it. A little bartering going on.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
For the most part, we have seen a transition to, credit card payments is probably the majority of the payments that we process.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we're in a digital world now. What about wallets? Are people paying with their phones?
Oh, yeah. We definitely see a lot of that. People who use their mobile, they're already linked to their accounts. I'd like to see more digital wallet use, especially because it makes the transactions faster.
Okay, yeah, and that's important because, like you said, you can move more customers quickly.
Right.
Anything you're experimenting with when it comes to payments, QR codes, or anything that you're trying out to test and learn from your customers?
We've thought about that, and this has just been an internal conversation. We haven't deployed anything, but we're really open to any new technologies that we can use that make it faster to identify the customer and get the payment secure for them and for us, to make sure that you're not spending too much time in the details just trying to get the order processed.
Yeah, and I guess when what is the one thing you wish people who work with restaurant owners, whether that's a payment processor or suppliers, you wish they understood better about your business?
I gave this question a lot of thought, and it's an interesting question because the restaurant industry has been around long enough, and payment processors are doing a great job supporting it already. It's difficult for me to think of anything that really stands out as far as a need that's not being addressed, besides just the areas for improvement that we have generally.
And do you think that, working with us, with PaySafe, has helped you? You said the processing is streamlined. Has that helped you with customer loyalty? because your customers know they can get in and out pretty swiftly. Transactions are secure. Anything else you want to add that you've observed about the partnership that's helped your business?
Definitely. I know as a customer myself, sometimes I'll take the wait time into consideration. If I have only 15 or 20 minutes to get in and get out, and I'm used to knowing that a location has a 20 or 25-minute wait time, I might skip it. So having a really quick in and out, making sure that the line doesn't go out the door, everybody's able to get seated and be served is really critical to us. PaySafe's customer support has also been really helpful. Anytime that we needed to change our account details on our platform, or if there were any disputes that we needed resolved, we were always able to get in touch with somebody on the phone, and they were able to handle it with us.
Well, we love hearing that. So now I end each podcast with an out of the blue question.
Okay.
I know. Don't be scared. Nobody ever knows what it is. They try to pry it out of me. But so if you could, describe any song, what would be right now your life's theme song? If you had to pick a song that, popular music or any kind of, it doesn't have to be popular music, it could be any music genre that you think represents kind of your personality, who Joseph is.
This is a very out of the box question. It is. It catches me off guard, but I'm just going to have to fall back on, I think maybe when I was 12, I decided, I didn't even know what the song was or what the words to it were because it was all in Latin, but Veni Emmanuel is actually my favorite song. It turned out to be a Christmas song. I didn't know that at the time, but that's the one that gets to me.
That's awesome. And what's the gist of the song for those people who may want to listen?
Well, it's really an invitation to celebrate, and it's centered around Christmas time, so it's a good chorus song.
I love it. Well, that's a great way for us to kind of end this terrific conversation about all things vegan, celebrating, good food, good vegan food, great lives, and all that stuff.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Joseph. I enjoyed the conversation, and thank you for being a PaySafe customer. So, guys, you know what I always say, tune in next time, because you never know who you're going to see.